this evening. Sheffield United then making 4 changes today. Baldock, Craney, Stearman and Medine coming in for Freeman, who's on the bench. Basham and Sharp with hamstring injuries, and John Egan suspended after that red card against Millwall. So they line up like this: Henderson in goal, Craney, Stearman and O'Connell across the back, Baldock and Stevens right wing back and left wing back respectively, Norwood and Fleck in midfield, Mark Duffy the 10, and Gary Medine and David McGoldrick leading the line up front for the Blades this afternoon. The bench: Moore, Lundstrom, Dowell, Hogan, Coote, Freeman and Washington. Nottingham Forest arrive here, 3 defeats on the spin, and if you believe some of the Nottingham Forest fans, manager under pressure already. Barely seems like 5 minutes ago he was appointed at the City ground. He makes 3 changes to the Forest lineup, with Murphy, Jakob and Ben Arwan coming into the side in what we think is going to be a 4-5-1. Graben, Apaya and Robinson drop out, so it's Pantilimon in goal, Colback, Ben Arwan, Wagyu and Byram at right back. In midfield, Pele, Jakob and Yates, Cash on the right, Lolly on the left, and Daryl Murphy, the lone striker for Nottingham Forest, who are in gold shirts, navy blue shorts and gold socks. The Blades in their familiar red and white, black shorts and white socks, kicking, as we look at it, from right to left here in the gantry. Bramall Lane not quite packed, but not far off it, as the Greasy Chip Butty song gets into full swing. Our referee is Andrew Madley. Keith Edwards alongside Mike McCarthy for full match commentary here on Football Heaven. One last check of the watch, and we are underway here at Bramall Lane, with Ben Arwan at the back already sending a long diagonal ball forward for Murphy to get his head on. The Blades win it back temporarily. It's Yates in midfield for Forest, trying to get away from the attentions of Fleck. Now out to the right, Byram. Yates again on the ball quickly, trying to work down this right wing at the moment. Byram then is dispossessed. It's out for a throw off the boot of Enda Stevens, level with the edge of the Sheffield United penalty area. So Sam Byram, on loan from West Ham United, the former Leeds man, just hands it off, and it looks like it's going to be a long throw into the box from Matty Cash, the Forest Academy product. Ben Arwan's come up, Wagu's come in as well, the Forest centre half for this one. Into the box it comes towards the near post, headed away at that near post by Jack O'Connell. As far as a Forest man on the edge of the penalty area, it's then Jakob who works it out to the right, and Cash again. Cash trying to get away from the attentions of Stevens. Stevens gets a boot in, McGoldrick comes across to head out. The applause tells you he's got a boot in there and taking it out for another throw. Ollie, it looks like he's in a more central position actually, it seems, for Nottingham Forest than we were expecting. Minute gone here, 0-0, and it's Lolly on the ball, corner of the box on the right, sends it to Cash down the line. Cash low ball into the box, sliding tackle from O'Connell, gets it away, and now Medine might be able to get away from his man here as he approaches halfway. And Sheffield United find a bit of a break. They've gone back to go forward through Craney. Craney's ball deflected, goes towards the run of Baldock. The header comes in from Jack Colback at left back, a makeshift left back for Nottingham Forest really, and it's safely back towards Pantilimon in the Nottingham Forest goal. Keith Edwards, your thoughts on the opening stages?
It's a nice enough start, isn't it? Forest have got down this right hand side. I would suggest we close Pele down, because with a name like that he should be a good player.
Yeah, he's on loan from Monaco at the moment.
He'd worry me. So I presume he's a good player with a name like that. But overall, yeah, it's very early doors. We've got a little opportunity to get forward here. We've already seen McGoldrick come back and do some defensive work. I can't fault that guy for his effort and his endeavour to help the team out. I'd like him to push onto the back four of Forest and play his part up there as well. So while he's bringing back there, he's leaving Medine on his own, but we've got a good opportunity to get down this left hand side.
Well, the free kick centrally taken quickly towards Norwood, had to go from 40 yards, just a couple of yards wide actually. Pantilimon watched it go past his right hand post and then comes out and roars at his teammates to say what on earth is happening there. Why was Norwood not closed down? 0-0 it remains, and Pantilimon is still out there having to go at every single one, it seems, of the Nottingham Forest defenders.
Well, it's strange. I mean, you would always think a goalkeeper would be fairly confident of saving something from that kind of distance, and on the other hand, I like the fact that we're prepared to have a shot from that kind of distance as well. Every now and then you get a wonder goal. Something spark has to happen today for us to win a game, and that's the type of thing what can win the game for you.
Bramall Lane in full voice this afternoon, this Good Friday afternoon. The early game here on Football Heaven. It's flicked on by Medine, looking for McGoldrick, but it's won back by Forest. Colback tries to work it out to the left. Pele can't get the ball under control. Spent most of his career in Portuguese football, Pele, but he's getting his first taste of English football this season as O'Connell tries a diagonal one left to right. Medine nods it down. McGoldrick edge of the penalty area, just loses possession on the D, and it's cleared by Forest under the boot of Wagyu. This is now Stevens, stays inside to Fleck. Stevens back to Fleck again into the Forest half. Fleck steps around one challenge. Corner of the box now, left-footed ball into the penalty area is cut out by Claudio Jacob and sent behind for a Blades corner. 4 minutes gone, 0-0. First corner of the game for the Blades.
Yeah, good response from the crowd. Nice play from Fleck, pushing on forward there. Through dummies, he was trying to play Duffy in as much as he would like to have done, but in the end went out of space.
In comes the corner, it's a low one towards Duffy from Norwood. Duffy out of the penalty area now, looks to turn, try and get away from his man. He's still got his back to goal. Duffy sends a left-footed cross, which is then blocked behind for another corner, so Norwood will have another chance to loft one into the box perhaps this time. 0-0.
Doesn't waste the ball often, Duffy, keeps possession, holds on to something. Couldn't really get away from the Forest player, but at least won a corner.
It was Cash that closed him down. This is Norwood now with the ball towards the back post. Medine rising, can't get above the ball, and it's gone out on the far side 10 yards from the corner flag for a Forest throw, which Colback has come across to take. But just in terms of how Forest are setting up at the moment, we were told it's going to be a back four. It's certainly been that. Would you say it's more of a 4-3-3 they've gone for today, Keane?
Yeah, it is when they've gone forward, but they are overloading that midfield. They haven't got an out-and-out target man, so they'll possibly, whenever opportunity is there, they'll drop an extra player in midfield. They want to keep the ball and play from there.
O'Connell targets one to the corner of the box and Medine. It's let it bounce towards Baldock. Now back to Duffy, corner of the penalty area, right hand side, two in front of him. Gets the cross into the back post. McGoldrick almost there, can't quite get to the end of that one. Gone behind for a goal kick, but the applause all round Bramall Lane. Positive start from the Blades here. 5 minutes gone on BBC Radio Sheffield. Chris Wilder coming out to the end of his technical area, just pointing a few instructions, but it's crackling inside here.
Yeah, it's a good atmosphere. You say there's not too many spare seats. Forest have brought quite a few on that bottom tier, so yeah, it's there, isn't it? And it looks great, it looks the part. We've just got to push it on to another level.
An afternoon with plenty at stake. Blades win the header, it's forward towards Medine, knocks it out to the right, and Duffy, but just overhits that one. It's gone out for a throw in front of the John Street side of the ground, where Colback goes to pick it up. Colback, who's on loan from Newcastle. One of the back four has got 3 loan players in it. Colback, Molowagu on loan from Udinese, and as we mentioned, Sam Byram, the right back, on loan from West Ham at the moment. Not played an awful lot of football together. Here's Norwood trying to send one down the inside right channel, looking for Medine, but Wagyu steps across and wins that one. And then there's a foul by McGoldrick on Colback as he was trying to win it back just inside the Forest half on the left. And Nottingham Forest, as we were saying pre-match, arriving here on the back of 3 straight defeats, including defeats at Rotherham United and Sheffield Wednesday. Lost at home to Blackburn last week, despite creating 21 attempts on goal, just one of them on target though, Keith.
Yeah, well, that's always disappointing. The hardest bit is to create the chances, but yeah, they've obviously got one or two problems up front, maybe a confidence issue, but it's not for us to worry about, is it?
Medine goes down to the challenge of Jacob. The referee is just going to have a word with Claudio Jacob there for that challenge. Back in the side today, the former West Brom man. Medine back on his feet, just shaking off the after effects of that coming together with Jacob, who's now having just a quick word with Andrew Medley. Norwood on the edge of the centre circle, just on the left. We'll look to get the Blades back underway here. He's got O'Connell square, and that's exactly where the ball's going to go. O'Connell in possession then for the Blades back towards Norwood. Central position at the moment, chips the ball towards the edge of the box. Again, Medine the target. It's flicked on, but not away from a Forest foot. It's out towards Craney, but Craney's ball is cut out by Colback, and now it's down the line for Forest on the left with Murphy. Back to goal, under pressure from Stearman, and the referee, well, Stearman can't believe that. Murphy went down. That's a soft one on halfway, Keith.
Yeah, it is a bit soft, isn't it? And it allows Forest to come forward. As much as I think Forest took the game to us in the first couple of minutes, we've come back really well. Getting a bit of joy down that right-hand side. We'll have to defend this, but I think Forest will be a bit limited going forward. They don't seem to be too much of a rush to get forward, and certainly not pushing too many people forward, and also they're looking to keep this tight.
Colback chips one towards the edge of the box. There's not a gold shirt anywhere near that, so it goes straight into the hands of the baseball cap wearing Dean Henderson this afternoon. 8 minutes gone, 0-0. Football Heaven on BBC Radio Sheffield, and Henderson with his first touch of the ball sends a long one again. Medine will try and flick this on, looking for the run of McGoldrick. Colback's won this at left back here, and then his clearance is charged down by McGoldrick, so Forest will be penned in towards their own corner flag. 5 yards from it. Colback gets back to his feet on those orange boots on the far side, and the crowd appreciating the efforts of David McGoldrick in the early stages of this game. Duffy's header from the throw goes straight out of play, so Forest have worked the line here and have got another throw midway inside the Sheffield United half. Well, Sheffield United, despite a couple of results recently, are still well in this automatic promotion race. Forest today, Hull away on Easter Monday. We'll have that live for you on Football Heaven as well. Ipswich at home and then Stoke away. Been talking about run-ins during the week, Keith Edwards, and you know, you'd swap that with Leeds United, would you? Not really. Wigan, Brentford, Villa and Ipswich. It's the Brentford and Villa games you think about with Leeds, isn't it? Yeah,
of course. It's we can't really complain about our running for the last 7 or 8 games to the end of the season. So, but it's like anything else. The Championship is very unpredictable, and it's about winning games.
Now it's Forest attacking down the right-hand side. The cross was coming in there from Joe Lolly, and it had to be deflected behind. First Forest corner of the game in the 10th minute here. Goalless in front of the Kop then. Lolly looking at his options. It's going to be a deep one to the back post, looking at the runners at the moment. In it comes now, near post, it's cleared away by McGoldrick towards the edge of the penalty area where Fleck taps it out to Stevens. Stevens first time towards Norwood on halfway. 2-on-2 for the Blades momentarily, but Norwood just has to check back to keep possession. He's worked it out wide to the right now where he's got support from Baldock. Baldock now with Pele up against him, so he has to check back as well. Inside now towards Duffy. Can he jink away? In fact, he's fed one down the line for Baldock. Cross coming in towards the back post. Medine heads it on, but there's a foul by Medine on Jakob in the opinion of the referee. It'll be a free kick inside the Forest penalty area. 0-0 it remains.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the ref. I think it was an obvious push. I think Medine's saying that he's getting tugged back, but you can't afford to do that, because the referee will always take the easy option and just and give it to the defender.
Yeah, well, Claudio Jakob is no stranger to the physical side of the game with his time at West Brom, is he? He's used to those sort of battles. Interested to see how that develops through the afternoon, but Medine's been the target for so many of these early balls forward. Yeah,
he seems to be just pulling off every time the centre half, and they're trying to work it from there. I think you always fancy Medine to actually win the initial header, but we've got to get people in and around him to benefit from that. And I think maybe that's why he's gone with 2 physical players instead of the likes of Hogan, who's that little bit quicker.
Well, Duffy's gone down under a challenge just on halfway, so it'll be another Blades free kick. In the 12th minute here. No real chances to speak of. Oliver Norwood's effort from way out, which had Costel Pantilimon remonstrating with his backline, the closest either side have come. It's knocked down here from Medine to Duffy, just can't get the shot away before a challenge came in from Jakob. It's gone for a corner though, and the Blades starting to put a little bit more pressure on in this first half. 12 minutes gone, 0-0.
Yep, once again Medine the target. Duffy getting nice and close to him. I want to see McGoldrick get a little bit closer to him as well, and then that'll be more effective. It's just about gambling when you put the ball in there. If he flicks it on or just chests it down, then if he's knocking it backwards, then the midfield players have got to pick up. If he's just going to touch it on, somebody else has got to take a chance and get in front of people.
Being in swinger from the right, left-footed from Fleck. In it comes now towards the centre of goal. Knocked down in the penalty area. Pele just gets a boot anywhere away. In fact, it's gone back to Fleck. Fleck the corner taken now, working it to the right of the box. Norwood right-footed into the penalty area. Overhead kick attempt from McGoldrick. Gets it all wrong. Forest clear, but only as far as Enda Stevens, centre of the park. Works it to the left and Duffy. Still the pressure coming from Sheffield United. Duffy weaving his way to the edge of the penalty area. Now works it out to the left and McGoldrick. McGoldrick and Duffy exchange passes. Now Duffy looking for the option of a cross. He's gone inside instead to Craney. Craney urged to shoot. Goes sideways to Norwood. Norwood tries to thread it down the right, but the run was telegraphed and it's cut out by Murphy, and Forest can come away with Pele now. Pele being challenged by Baldock, and Pele's doing well to stay on his feet here, and he's done Baldock a favour. He might have won a free kick. Play on, says the referee, and Pele works it out to the right, and Cash. Now Lolly picks it up. Lolly up against Stevens, has Barham on the overlap. Barham now attacking Fleck into the corner of the penalty area on the right. Still goes Barham, and then it's blocked off by Norwood. That door was shut firmly by the Sheffield United midfielder. Ben Alwan with a challenge from behind on McGoldrick. Fans want a free kick, not given. Forest continue. It's Pele in the centre of the park here. 0-0, 13 minutes gone. Lively start in a crucial game in the Championship. It's at the back with Forest and Ben Alwan. The former Leicester man goes into midfield and then gets it back. This is Wagu. Wagu miscontrols, and the Blades can put a bit of a press on here. Colback at left back goes back to Molowagu. The Udinese loanee goes back to his goalkeeper Kostel Pantilimon. And the noise inside Bramall Lane is very, very strong today.
Yes, if we go back a few years, one of the best games I've ever seen at Bramall Lane was against Forest in the playoffs final to get to Wembley, and we won that game, and the noise, well, that was just fantastic. And the game itself was great. It lived up to its name. And a long time ago that, but doing that with Paul Walker, it was great to do. It was a privilege to be here. But this is warming up, isn't it? We've got a good opportunity. We're playing a certain way. We've changed our tactics in some respects, that we're playing up to Medine, and he can try and touch things on. So he's going to play a big part in today's game.
Well, Forest have a throw on the right, level with the edge of the Sheffield United penalty area. Matty Cash just drying the ball on his shirt before hurling a long throw towards the near post, headed away towards Jakob, who strikes left-footed well over the bar from around 22 yards, central position. Henderson not troubled. 0-0, quarter of an hour gone. Still goalless, by the way, between Bristol City and Reading, the other game that got underway early doors, heading towards half-time there. That was a 12 o'clock start as Reading try and get some distance between themselves and the bottom three in Bristol City. Try and pull away as well from the chasing pack in the playoffs. Here, though, it's automatic promotion, which is the nature of business for Sheffield United. As Medine rises for a header, it's dropped towards McGoldrick before Wagu steps in to deal with that for Nottingham Forest. Medine now closing down Ben Alwan, who's not clearing his lines yet. Took an awful long time to do that. Complains he didn't have a pass. And in fact, it's deflected off Medine out for a Nottingham Forest throw-in near their own penalty area. Not looking massively comfortable on the ball at the back, Nottingham Forest.
No, Forest play like this. This is how it was at the City Ground. We close people down, and Forest take a few chances at the back. And as you rightly point out, Mike, they don't always look too comfortable. So put people under pressure, you can create mistakes.
Football Heaven on BBC Radio Sheffield. Still awaiting the first real goal scoring opportunity as Medine goes down under a challenge of Molowagu. Referee says play on. This is Duffy. Duffy right hand side for Sheffield United, spreads the play to the left. The run of Stevens now, level with the edge of the penalty area. Stevens first time takes it down, then second touch into the box. It's cleared by Ben Alwan though. As Forest clear to halfway. Stearman with the first touch into Norwood, which gets Sheffield United back under running here. Here's McGoldrick, tries to flick it round the corner, but there's not a runner for McGoldrick to aim for. So Ben Alwan steps in and gets it away. This is O'Connell with the header clear for Sheffield United. It's a long ball forward from Forest. It's aimlessly sent into the United half. It's gone out for a throw then, which Byram will take. Byram inside. As Yates gets on the ball, goes back to Ben Alwan now in the centre circle. Claudio Jakob goes through his left back Colback, who's found a bit of space on that left hand side for Nottingham Forest. Heads towards the penalty area and then back towards Lolly. Lolly strikes from distance. It hits Cranian, hits away. This is Cash. Back to Pele now. Edge of the centre circle is Jakob. McGoldrick closing him down as Nottingham Forest have a spell of possession here at Bramall Lane. Byram goes back inside towards Lolly. Lolly goes square. Cash and Lolly exchange passes, and it's knocked out to the left-hand side, and Colback. Bit of space for Colback to try and weave into the box. Goes down. Is that a penalty? Referee says no, and in fact, he says Colback took a dive there inside the box. It's a yellow card for Jack Colback. Sheffield United survived that scare. It remains 0-0.
Well, I think you've worded that correctly there. I got a little bit scared there when I seen the whistle go to his mouth. I thought he might actually give a penalty, but he's gone down soft, and I think the referee does. I'm not always in favour of seeing the yellow card for things like that, but if it's going to prevent people just throwing themselves to the ground, then yeah, you have to do it as such. But players shouldn't do it to start with. He had nowhere to go through himself. I was just slightly worried that he might actually give it.
Well, it remains 0-0, 18 minutes gone here on Football Heaven as Henderson's clearance is headed away by Molowagu and out for a throw-in for the Blaze, level with the edge of the Forest penalty area, right-hand side, taken quickly by Baldock, and it goes to Duffy. Duffy with Pele in close attention, tries to wriggle away from him. The gold-shirted Pele is then moved away, and this is Norwood, exchanges passes with Duffy. Craney's involved in that little sequence as well, as Norwood then sends it out to the right with Baldock. Baldock looking for company, finds it through Duffy. Sheffield United just trying to pick a way through here. Massed ranks of gold shirts between Sheffield United and the cross. And again, the noise inside Bramall Lane deafening at times as it's found its way through to Baldock near the corner flag from McGoldrick. This is Baldock and McGoldrick linking up again. McGoldrick from the byline gets the cross in. Medine chests it down edge of the penalty area. It's worked out from Norwood almost towards Duffy, but dispossessed. And now Nottingham Forest trying to attack themselves. Forward they come now through Lolly. Fleck gets the challenge in, but a foul one, and that might not be the only thing that Fleck has to deal with here. The referee has a bit of a decision to make as to whether that was a promising attack that Fleck disrupted. It looks like he's not going to reach for a yellow card on this occasion. Keith Edwards 0-0.
No, I think he's made the right decision there. That's nothing of a challenge. He stopped him, yes, but it was a professional challenge, but it's not a bookable offence. If you start the game like that, then eventually you're going to have to send somebody off, because it was a nothing of a challenge. The guy gets the free kick and you just move on.
I can't believe I've just seen that. A foul throw in the Championship.
Well,
I'm assuming that's a fine from Martin O'Neill, but we never know.
Well, somebody could have said he's kicked the ball deliberately away as well. Somebody could have said that was a booking offence. But once again, I have to agree with what the referee did, because he's just a little bit disappointed, so he kicks the ball away. And
so far the game's flowed nicely as well, hasn't it?
It's steady, yeah. It's without being overly excited. We haven't seen too many saves from goalkeepers, but we've gone forward well. It's a slightly different Sheffield United today, because we've got two physical players up front, but we're playing to that quite well.
Well, the Blades have enjoyed the lion's share of the possession so far. Henderson has it at the back at the moment, as his clearance goes towards Medine. The header from Ben Arwan gets it away towards the halfway line, where it will be a throw-in on the left for O'Connell to take. 0-0 here. As Keith Evans is saying, neither goalkeeper really tested so far. The flick on has found Stevens, and number 25, was that Lolly that's gone down in fact, or Byram? No, Byram has gone down. He just headed the back of Stevens' head there, and I think he's come off the worst of it. Those are often horrible ones.
Yeah, it's clumsy, isn't it, to actually head somebody else's head.
Well, Stevens has gone down to get some treatment as well. Byram back on his feet. As Sheffield United have this free kick, it'll be midway inside on the left of the Forest half as we approach halfway towards this first half. Martin O'Neill just pacing around in his technical area. It's hard to believe. I appreciate I haven't watched an awful lot of Nottingham Forest, but it's hard to believe that he would be under pressure at this stage.
Well, I think that's just talk, isn't it? He's got to be given time to rebuild and to set this side up. Yes, it's been disappointing, because they look like favourites to be in the playoffs at one point, and a bad run.
On a losing streak of 3, Nottingham Forest. They haven't lost 4 in a row since they were under the charge of Philippe Montagnier. Well, I had to Google a picture of him because I completely forgotten what he looked at. January 2017 he was in charge. Yeah, well, I can't remember a thing about it.
They've had a lot of changes, haven't they?
Exactly. That tells you all you need to know about what's going on with Forest at the moment. Stevens is still down, and I wonder whether there's a bit more work that needs to be done by the physios there. Maybe a bit of Vaseline on, or if there's a more open cut that they have to deal with a bit more thoroughly. He's getting back to his feet now, though, Stevens, with looks like a glob of Vaseline on the side of his head. The fourth official's just coming across as well to make sure he is ready to come back. And Oliver Norwood standing over this free kick then from the left-hand side. 23 minutes on the clock here on Football Heaven. No score between the Blades and Nottingham Forest in the first of 5 live games here on Football Heaven. Norwood then, right-footed, will be an in-swinger. Towards the box it comes now, over the heads of everyone. Wasn't a bad ball from Norwood, but just didn't find the runner. And it goes straight out for a goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, it's about gambling, isn't it? You put a ball in that kind of area, you'd be disappointed not to get somebody on it, because that's a great ball in. It's hit with pace. I think the pace has been possibly too good and it's beaten everybody, but somebody's got to gamble and get at the far post there, got a free header.
So Costin Pantilimon, formerly of Sunderland and Manchester City, with the goal kick towards halfway. This is Duffy's header. Medine plays it nicely square in the centre circle to Norwood, and his ball to the right is almost intercepted by Colback before the challenge comes in from Baldock to win it back. But Forest coming forward themselves, losing out quickly though. And that was Cash who was dispossessed. This is Norwood now, centre circle, got a bit of space to run into before Pele comes and closes him down. So he goes square to Craney. Inside the Forest half on the right now is Baldock. Duffy's short, so is Norwood. Again, that pivot in the Sheffield United midfield. This is Stearman now. Stearman goes to the right and Duffy, and this is work to Craney. Craney trying to work it down the right hand side, but this time Nottingham Forest have closed that avenue down, so O'Connell will try from the left instead. Just goes inside square into the centre circle, and Richard Stearman. Well, this back three that hasn't really been together for Sheffield United throughout the season is holding its own perfectly well, and Sheffield United on the attack now on the left, and it comes from Stevens. Great ball, almost found McGoldrick there, just a yard or two ahead of the Sheffield United man. The crowd applaud the intent of that early ball into the box. Medine just couldn't quite get there, 0-0.
Yeah, you got to get somebody on the near post. How many times do I say that throughout a season? Somebody's got to gamble, get in there. That was a terrific ball there. Keeper couldn't come for it. Centre half wouldn't have been comfortable either. But unfortunate for United, we couldn't get on the end of it as well. So, but great ball in.
Such a teasing delivery from Enda Stevens. As Pantilimon's goal kick goes straight out of play on the far side in front of the John Street side of the crowd. Sheffield United 3 points behind Leeds coming into today. A win puts them back in second and puts the pressure back on Leeds United as they take on Wigan at 3. We'll keep you across that one on Football Heaven. Whatever happens here. Long clearance now from Henderson. The header comes in from Molawagu, out of play again. As Nottingham Forest at the moment dealing well enough with the aerial onslaught from Sheffield United that's come so far. This is Stearman at the back for Sheffield United. Goes square to O'Connell. Plenty of space inside his own half to run into. Fleck coming short and showing an option, but O'Connell will spread one diagonally left to right. Again, the Medine is the target. He can't get it under control. Colback gets it away for Forest. Now Craney with a challenge. No foul, says the referee. McGoldrick picks it up, edge of the box, goes for goal. Well, wide in the end from David McGoldrick from the corner of the penalty area. Good 20 yards out. 26 minutes gone. It's 0-0.
Took the wrong option for me. Baldock on the right hand side. Medine running into the box with purpose. If he pushes that out to Baldock, then he can possibly cross it, and Medine would have been in a better position. Trying to score from there. Disappointed with that decision.
Well, the talk through the week is how Sheffield United would cope. No Sharp, no Basham, no Egan. How do you think they've got on so far, Keith?
Well, yeah, fine. It's like I highlighted at the top of the show. We players who come in do a great job, and they've obviously during the week train knowing that if you're going to take his place, this is what you've got to do, and this is what you're all about. So as an example is Freeman and Baldock play very much a similar type game, and both put good performances in.
Flick on from McGoldrick from O'Connell's ball forwards. Too much shown to the goalkeeper Pantilimon, who gets there well ahead of Gary Medine. And bowls it out over arm towards Colback. Now Pele back short towards Jakob in that Forest midfield. Ben Alwan at the back. Takes one step and then works it out to the right hand side where Barham heads towards halfway. Chip ball over the top, looking for the run of Murphy, who's barely been involved in the game from a Forest point of view. Straight through towards Dean Henderson with that baseball cap on, who's Oh, I've not had anything to do really.
No,
Keith Edwards.
Well, that's what I was going to come on to. We're encouraged to go forward because Forest have shown nothing in the sense of they're just hopeful going forward, and not only that, midfield players, they don't really push on too far, and they're always conscious of trying to keeping a clean sheet. However that's happening, then you've got to try and take advantage of it.
Fleck goes inside to Stevens, edge of the box here. Now Duffy inside the penalty area, works it out to the left hand side. O'Connell, first time ball deflected towards the back post. Medin's header down inside the 6-yard box, cleared away by Wagyu. Edge of the penalty area now. Norwood gets a header towards Duffy. Duffy 25 yards out, chipped towards the back post. Medin offside, couldn't bring it under control anyway. Goes out of play. 28 minutes gone, 0-0, but Sheffield United knocking on the door.
Yeah, that's a little bit better, isn't it? Great cross earlier on, and that was only just offside. Medin trying to get the far post, just trying to give himself a yard of space by coming off his defenders, but it was unlucky from Duffy. It's a good cross.
No score at half time between Bristol City and Reading. 29 minutes gone here, and it's the same. He's on the John Street side of the ground, bathed in sunshine, some of them shielding their eyes from the sun, and they're watching the ball again, not for the first time, sail straight out of play from a bit of distribution from Costel Pantilimon. So Sheffield United with a throw in, but they've lost out here, and it's the gold shirts of Nottingham Forest who are working their way towards the penalty area at the moment. Stearman comes out to defend from Cash. Cash's ball into the back post is away in the nick of time by Enda Stevens.
Yeah, good defending, to be fair. He's got in, he's aware of the danger, and on that occasion Forest for the first time got 3 in the box.
Well, Lolly was lurking, ready to get on that ball had Enda Stevens not been able to get something on it. Throw in taken, it's Lolly on the ball now, right hand side for Forest. Deep position, deep cross towards the post. It bounces once before going straight into the arms of Henderson, with Cash unable to get on the end of it, who's taken up position on the left wing. Clearance from Henderson towards Medin, not forward towards Fleck, who tried the volley first time. It couldn't get it under control, but it's worked out to the left. Stevens ball in, McGoldrick's header to the back post just creeps past the post on the near side as McGoldrick met the header. It wasn't the cleanest of contact, but the closest that Sheffield United have come. McGoldrick's header just wide. Medin trying to get on the end of it, couldn't convert from the header either. It remains 0-0.
Yeah, it's good football, wasn't it? I love to see teams hit people on the break, but do it very, very quickly, and that was great. Fleck got a little bit lucky. He looked as if he was going to try to just shoot from a bit of a tight angle. From the flick on, and the ball bobbled down to him. He held on to it, but yeah, it was a good play. The fact that the two strikers once again have linked up with each other.
Forest coming forward now. This is Yates 30 yards out, got 4 red and white shirts around him. Norwood dispossesses him. Sheffield United back in possession with O'Connell, forward towards McGoldrick, works with Duffy to try and get around Jakob. McGoldrick now flicks it towards Norwood and does well, but still Jakob in close attention. Well, warm applause for David McGoldrick. That's some brilliant play in midfield, and a nice ball forward to Baldock as well, but he couldn't get it under control. Just a frustrating end to what was a great passage of play from him.
I have to say McGoldrick's playing lovely football. He's got a great touch. He leads the line well, but I still want him to play a little bit further forward and look to get a goal, but unfortunately for Baldock, it just come at it at a little bit of a wrong height.
Well, Forest trying to work something down the left hand side between Murphy and Cash, but again straight into the grateful arms of Henderson. This is Norwood now picking it up deep for Sheffield United. 32 minutes gone. Football Heaven on BBC Radio Sheffield. A reminder still to come. 2 live games at 3, and we've got Sunderland Doncaster 5:15 and Norwich Sheffield Wednesday 7:45. 10 hours of Football Heaven today. This is Fleck towards O'Connell on the left. Now Stevens near the touchline, goes back to Fleck, corner of the penalty area on the left. Stevens again picks it up into the box now. This is nice work from Stevens, almost gets it back, but it's just cut out. Stevens has done well to win it back though for Sheffield United. And they've got it to Duffy with a crossing opportunity perhaps, but he works it out to the left, and Stevens again now takes a touch out of his feet, delivers to the back post, nodded down by McGoldrick and then cleared by Nottingham Forest in the centre of the penalty area. This is Duffy trying to get his head to the loose ball. Flicked on by Murphy for Forest, but only into a vacant Sheffield United half, which is filled now by O'Connell. And Sheffield United can try and build again. Here's Duffy. as the volume goes up another 10 decibels inside Bramall Lane. Duffy loses possession though, and Jakob can try and work it forward for Nottingham Forest. Very little support. Here's Murphy though. Murphy approaching the edge of the box. Danger here. Shot from range just past the post from Murphy. Henderson was sprawling. May have had it covered, but it remains 0-0 because Murphy couldn't quite get the accuracy he wanted on the shot. 33 minutes gone. Goalless.
Yeah, if he hits the target, that would be a slight worry. It just shows you, doesn't it, all that pressure we've had an opportunity to put the ball in the box, and I think it should come in a little bit earlier. We've had a few opportunities on the left hand side to knock that ball in. If you're playing with two strikers up front who are good in the air, then that should, for me, that ball should have come in early. The main thing is that even though Forest are not quite in it at the moment, the break and they are capable of scoring. If he'd have hit the target, we might have been in trouble there. So just, you can't take anything for granted.
Well, it's knocked down by Medine towards McGoldrick, corner of the box, right hand side. Now Duffy out towards the right, and Baldock goes backwards to find Norwood. Quick ball down the right hand side where Craney picks it up. Baldock now in a triangle between him, Craney and Norwood. Norwood's crossed towards the penalty area. Jakob gets a boot to it, not a convincing one. Out to Duffy, 25 yards out, urged to shoot, goes inside the penalty area, cut out though by Colback.
I think the crowd may have a point. Urged him to shoot and he didn't, and I think one touch, get it out the way and have a pop at goal.
Medine nods it inside the penalty area looking for McGoldrick. He gets his head to the ball. Stevens might keep this in, but he's offside. So that spell of pressure for Sheffield United ends. 0-0 here, 34 minutes on the clock. I mean, in terms of what Nottingham Forest have shown coming the other way, it has been that Murphy chance and not an awful lot else, and it's just at the moment Nottingham Forest are very difficult to break down in this shape, Keith Edwards.
Well, they are, and they're getting an awful lot of people behind the ball, so they're not looking to break too much, and they obviously want to keep things very, very tight, and we've got to be patient and break things down, and if the ball comes in and we can break them down, I mean, a goal would open this game up immensely, so hopefully it'll come our way, but whenever we're going forward like this, we always have to be conscious of not conceding, because there is players in the Championship capable of just scoring out of nothing.
Well, United have it at the back at the moment with O'Connell. Just goes square on the edge of the centre circle where Stearman picks it up. Now back to the goalkeeper from Norwood, Henderson, on the edge of his own box. 9 minutes to half time on Football Heaven. Henderson looking at his options before going long into the Forest half. It's going to be met by Byram, this one. There wasn't a Blade's body near it. McGoldrick now tracking back and trying to put Yates under pressure. He goes inside the centre circle towards Murphy, and now Pelley knocks it out to the left for Forest. Colback on the overlap as Cash tries to work an angle for himself. He goes inside to Ryan Yates. Now it's out to the right, and Byram with the crossing opportunity for Forest, closed down by Stevens nicely, and it's Byram who has to nod it back towards Lolly instead. Lolly approaching the corner of the box. Lolly tries to get the cross in. It's deflected. It will go for a corner if it does go. Henderson got out there well to make sure that it didn't. Excellent goalkeeping from Dean Henderson. He was alert there.
Yeah,
and he's made sure that the set piece hasn't been conceded.
Yeah, good feet from Henderson there. He's done well to be alert and to get that. Could have been a corner kick. Lolly's a player I like. He gets inside, but while he's coming inside, I'm fairly comfortable with that, because he's only crowded into a box full of players, and that doesn't always come to anything.
Yeah, it was a January signing last year, Lolly, and he got promoted to the Premier League with Huddersfield, but didn't really get an opportunity that he would have wanted in the Premier League there. And well, this season he's been one of the danger men. 9 goals so far for Forest this season in a team which has sometimes struggled going forward. Here's Colback, just goes square to his fellow defender Molowagu, and now Pantilimon, who receives the ball from the centre half, goes long into the Sheffield United half. Nodded down by Murphy, but straight into the path of Nadine. Can Sheffield United build something now? This is Stevens trying to get away from Lolly, does so, and then has to go back into his own half to find a teammate in the shape of O'Connell. Stearman now will try and recycle things through Norwood. Norwood to O'Connell. Just crossing halfway here as Sheffield United look to pick away through this Nottingham Forest defence. O'Connell's got it back again, goes towards Fleck. The challenge comes in from Yates though, and he's lost out here as Lolly tries to get away from Stevens and does so. This is a bit of a break here for Forest. Lolly has a bit of space on the right to put it into the feet of Murphy. Murphy now into the penalty area, right hand side of the box, low ball in, claims of a handball. It's not going to be given, but it will go behind for a Nottingham Forest corner. Does Daryl Murphy have a point there, Keith Edwards?
No, I think that's ball to hand, isn't it? Player can't help that. So, more importantly, the fact that they've got a corner at this stage of the game, we either go in with a clean sheet or, we don't want to ever get into the stage where we're having to chase this game.
Well, Lolly's going to take this corner 7 minutes before half time here. No score at Bramall Lane. He's in front of the cop, Lolly, and will send this in left footed towards the near post, flicked on, but it's away just as far as Fleck, but he was challenged by Pele, and Forest win it back. Jakob sending it back into the box, header away deep in his own penalty area from Stearman. Now Craney has to head away for Sheffield United. Pele picks it up left hand side. He's going to let this run for a throw, and Nottingham Forest through Cash will send another long throw into the box here for Sheffield United to deal with. Oxford 0, Charlton 1 in League One. An early penalty from Taylor as Charlton continue their unlikely assault on the automatic promotion places in League One. A reminder, we've got Barnsley against Shrewsbury at 3 on AM and DAB for you on Football Heaven this afternoon. So Cash with this long throw into the Sheffield United penalty area, away by Craney towards the edge of the box, and then it's cleared off Jakob by Duffy. Ironic cheers, because that basically went straight into the chops of Jakob from Duffy's clearance and out for a goal kick. It remains 0-0.
Yeah, it's the perfect clearance, isn't it? Not being too harsh on the Nottingham Forest player, but he'll get over it. He's on his feet now. Well done, lad.
Yep, he's made of strong stuff, Claudio Jakob. Yep. The Argentine. He's just jogging back towards midfield now. 5 minutes to the break here on Football Heaven then, and some of the Blades fans deciding that now's the time to go and get some refreshments. And at the moment, the breakthrough, we're not quite sure where it's going to come from. It's Craney's header away for Sheffield United towards Norwood. Now Baldock picks it up. They're inside their own half at the moment, the Blades, as Craney looks for an angle, tries to chip one again towards McGoldrick. Flick on from McGoldrick, but again there's no one there really to get involved with that part of play.
That's what I'm talking about earlier on. The two strikers have got to be a little bit closer together so one can anticipate the little flick on, but that's what a little quickie, Billy Sharp, Hogan, whatever you want to say, I think they'd be a little bit closer to the ball.
We'll see if Chris Wilder-Obster makes any changes at half-time, as he's just trying to get the attention of Gary Medill on halfway. Forest have a throw midway inside the Blades half. Byron with it. He's got Lolly up ahead. Murphy back to goal, goes towards Lolly now. Lolly trying to work away and weave away through this Blades defence. He tries the cross, it's deflected off O'Connell and into the hands of Dean Henderson, but Lolly again showing a bit of danger there, beating a couple of men.
Yeah, he's a neat and tidy player, and it's not very often you say it today, because dribbling's it's gone out the game in many respects, but that lad can do it. But unfortunately, I think he always looks a little bit awkward because he's on his left hand side coming inside, and he's not quite sure whether to cross or keep dribbling. In the end, he does neither, and he doesn't get a shot in, so I'm fairly comfortable with that, but he can be a dangerous man given a bit of space.
But he's got his back to goal in his own half, and that's a bit of an error there, and McGoldrick's pounced on it, goes down edge of the box. Was he tripped? Referee says no foul. Oh, wait a minute, no, he has now eventually given the decision. Well, I can't believe he took so long to give that. But Sheffield United have a dangerous looking free kick just on the edge of the penalty area after McGoldrick pounced on a defensive mistake for Nottingham Forest. There's all sorts of debate going on just around the ball at the moment, but that to me is a clear Sheffield United free kick. Keith Edwards.
It looked a good foul, didn't it? But I don't know why, because the line, he looked across to the linesman, he never gave anything, and then he's changed his mind and actually give it. Once again, I think it's sometimes easier to give these free kicks when a player goes down. But that did look like a genuine free kick. But more importantly, that this is in a good spot, edge of the box. We can throw it to the far post, or we can possibly have a shot from there. It's in that kind of area. So,
well, Forest were messing around with the ball inside their own half. McGoldrick was closing things down. There's a yellow card that's gone up now for Sam Byron.
I didn't see a yellow card in all that. I really don't know where that's come from.
No.
The free kick was...
Maybe something's been said, that's all I can imagine.
He wasn't sure whether it was a free kick or not, so it certainly shouldn't be a yellow card for him, unless, as you rightly point out, he's maybe said something, I don't know. But
so free kick inside left. This is barely a few centimetres outside the penalty area here. Norwood flex around it, so is Duffy. And Kostan Pantilimon will be setting up what looks like a 4-man Forest wall. And the referee, Andrew Madley, is marching out the yards now. 2 minutes to the break here. And in the context of the half, this is a big moment, Keith Edwards.
Yeah, these are game changers, aren't they? We need to get something. The amount of times we see something different from a free kick, which is always very refreshing. But there's an opportunity just to have a straight shot at goal.
Norwood
looks
like the man. Fleck is there as well.
Keeper's right.
Duffy is standing over the ball. He'll look to play it probably short to either Norwood or Fleck, who are both primed and ready to strike here. Minute to go to the break. Sheffield United, big free kick. It's taken short. Fleck, low ball into the box. McGoldrick tried to flick it near post. It's gone wide. It'll be a Sheffield United corner. They didn't go for the strike at goal, Keith Edwards.
No, it was a well-worked free kick. We were waiting for something to happen. They all hesitate and Fleck keeps running, but it got very crowded in that box. I don't know if it was me. I'd like a little try and whack over the ball, over the wall and get it on target. Corner short from Norwood. Now Fleck with a chance to cross in left-footed. Handball shouts, not given, as it came off the hands of Cash. Again, the referee decided ball to hand. It's another cross towards the back post. This is Duffy now inside the penalty area. Can he fire a strike? It's blocked. He works it again in towards the 6-yard box. Comes out to Duffy again. Corner of the box, right hand side. Huge pressure from Sheffield United here. Norwood strikes from range. Pantilimon gets down to his left hand side to save that. 10 seconds to the break, 0-0. Pantilimon with his first real save to make of the half. Yeah, well, it was a fairly comfortable save, to be fair, but overall you look at it and you think, well, we could have got one or two crosses in earlier on, but once again it's a good way to finish the half. It's exciting. It's nice to finish it on top. Can we get something? 4 more minutes then to be added on at the end of this half. Goalless here at Bramall Lane. There has been a goal in the Championship elsewhere though. Bristol City 0, Reading 1. So good news for Sheffield Wednesday, bad news for Rotherham, that scoreline at the moment. Mate with the goal on 48 minutes there. Ironic shouts of handball from the Forest fans whenever anyone touches the ball at the moment, but it did look to me like Matty Cash had handled outside the area a few moments ago. Certainly his arms were away from his body, away from the natural silhouette, if you like, as we hear talked about so much at the moment. But at the other end it's going to be a Forest free kick as Cash goes down under a strong challenge from Craney, and it's a yellow card for Craney as well. Yeah, he actually brought 2 players down. Both of them have gone down. Now this is in a dangerous area. It's good that the game's one end to the other, but slightly worrying at this stage of the first half that we don't need to concede. Free kick, I would imagine they'll put this straight into the box at this time of the game. Well, at the moment Colback's just making his move back towards halfway, but Forest have sent the big men up here. Ben Alwan's up there. Malawaga, the centre half, is there as well. Murphy prowling on the edge of the penalty area at the moment. Pele just loitering at the back post too, as this one will come in from the left hand side. A good maybe a couple of yards from the touchline. Good 40 yards from goal this. There's a couple stand over this for Forest. Sheffield United with some defending to do then. Into stoppage time, in comes the free kick towards the back post. It's taken comfortably by Dean Henderson. Exactly what you want to see from your goalkeeper at this sort of stage of the game. Comes out, claims, confident, calm, cool, sends it out underarm towards O'Connor. Yeah, it's good goalkeeping, no two ways about it. Takes the pressure off the back three. Stevens now, left hand side for Sheffield United, sends one loftily towards Duffy on the left as well. Duffy now has the chance to attack Wallagoon. Duffy goes inside the penalty area, it's taking the deflection. Stevens square, it could be an own goal, just cleared away off the line. Well, goodness me, that was close for Sheffield United in stoppage time at the end of this first half. Stevens squared it up, it hit Jakob, I think it was creeping towards the net before Jakob made amends and cleared off his own line. 0-0. Yeah. We thought that was going in from our angle, from where we are. It looked as if the ball was going towards that, but he's cleared it well. But Stevens has done well to persevere down that left-hand side and get into a really good position. Shame that he just couldn't pull it back for a nice easy tap in for someone.
Well, this is Norwood for Sheffield United as we approach the break here. We've had 3 of the added 4 minutes now. Fleck almost gets on the end of that ball forward, but it's headed away by Byron. So Stevens will take the throw midway inside the Forest half on the left. Martin O'Neill trying to get some last minute instructions before the break here at Bramall Lane. Still no score as Stevens tries to work it inside towards Fleck, but he can't find his target, and Forest should be able to get this away at right back, but it's a poor clearance. Stevens almost getting on it, and then Yates goes down and wins himself a free kick and alleviates some of the pressure on Nottingham Forest in the closing stages of this first half. 30 seconds of it left, 0-0. Goal as well to tell you in the Championship, Millwall 1, Brentford 0. That one got underway at 1 o'clock, so it's not great news for Rotherham United. They're underway at 3 against Swansea, but a long way to go in that game at the Den. Here we're approaching half-time. We've had the 4 added minutes just about. This is O'Connell now for Sheffield United, just inside his own half. Works it to the left and Stevens, and now a low ball inside towards Norwood, and that will be half-time, says Andrew Madley. So a half which has seen plenty of endeavour, but few clear-cut chances at Bramall Lane. In the first half, which has seen Colback go down in the box. The referee's whistle went, but for a dive in the 18th minute. Sheffield United going close with McGoldrick's header on the half hour from O'Connell's cross, which just crept past the post.
You know, at this stage of the season, it makes us a lot stronger. Joe Wright's coming on really well. He's been out with the sports scientist. He's got this week and next, and then he'll be back with us. So we're not long on Joe either. And Lozzie's way ahead of schedule. Been out in the grass, catching, diving on the crash mats and things like that, just to soften the blow a little bit at the start. But you know, everyone's looking good.
Yeah, particularly with Ian Lawler, I guess the recovery schedule was initially for the start of pre-season, but are we potentially looking at him being available at some point this season?
Possibly. Never say never. You know, he's a great character, Lozzie, and he wants to be back, as does Joe. They're working so hard, the both of them, to try and make an impact before the end of the season. So we'll see how they go.
I suppose the classic question is, it makes your job a little bit more difficult with Marquis and Whiteman back, and possibly Anderson too for Sunderland. How does that shape your thinking?
Well, it's what you want as a manager. You want everybody available, and you want dilemmas. So there will be dilemmas for the game on Friday. You know, on the team sheet and on the bench, really, because a lot of the boys have stepped up to the plate. They've done great, and that's the reason why we have a very good squad, I believe. You know, and these 3 only make us stronger, you know, for the running.
Grant McCann there ahead of our game at 5:15. Sunderland against Doncaster Rovers. Of course, the pressure will be right on Sunderland if Barnsley can get a result against Shrewsbury. AM and DAB for that one at 3. FM and Freeview for Swansea against Rotherham. On all frequencies then at 5:15 for Sunderland Doncaster, and all frequencies too for Norwich against Sheffield Wednesday at 7:45 tonight. 5 live games for you. The first of them here at Bramall Lane, currently goalless at half-time between Sheffield United and Nottingham Forest. Goals going in around the country though. Millwall 1, Brentford 1 now. An equaliser from De Silva after Millwall had led early in that one. It's Oxford 2, Charlton 1. So Oxford turning that one around against the automatic promotion chasing side from London. Lee Bowyer's charge is taking the lead there, but Oxford United now 2-1 in front. Meanwhile, in the earliest of the early games, Bristol City 0, Reading 1 remains a latest score as Reading look to pull away from the bottom 3 in the Championship. But that is a useful looking scoreline from a Sheffield Wednesday perspective as well. 6 points between Bristol City and Sheffield Wednesday going into the Easter weekend. Could that be cut if Sheffield Wednesday can get something at Norwich tonight? We'll see how that all develops on Football Heaven. Here though, Sheffield United 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Keith Edwards back with us for the second half as the Blades players just beginning their just a brief warm-up before the second half gets back underway. No sign of the Forest players yet, but what do you think the message will have been from Chris Wilder at half-time, Keith?
Well, you know, he will be satisfied that we've had more ball than the Forest, but overall he'll be looking to win this game. That's what it's, you know, we're desperate. This is a win at all costs, really. It's if we can be a little bit more creative, get the ball in. We haven't worked the goalkeeper. but we've dominated the game. There's no two ways about it. Somewhere along the lines, 20 minutes to go, we might have to push on and take a few chances, and a draw or a loss, then it's wins are needed. It's got to that stage, but we can't do any more than dominate the game. I think we could possibly deliver the ball a little bit earlier. I think we'll see the introduction of Hogan personally, because I think it lacks a little bit of pace up there. I think it needs the player to play off the two big men, and if we get an early goal, then that's great. That'll settle us down, but that'll possibly make us a little bit edgy as well, because then we hold on to what we've got, or do we keep going forward? That's because it's the end of the season and it's a must-win game.
Well, the stats out of it at 7 shots in the first half for Sheffield United, 6 for Forest. Of those, just 1 on target, that coming for the away side. In a first half in which Sheffield United, it took until the last few minutes of it to really get Forest under some real pressure. Can they start this second half in that sort of mood? Andrew Madley just checking with his assistants and the goalkeepers, and we are ready to get underway for the second half here at Bramall Lane, with Sheffield United knowing they have 45 minutes to find something and put the pressure back on Leeds United in this automatic promotion race. Medine nodding inside towards McGoldrick. It's found its way back towards Duffy, but he loses out to Yates. A reminder of the two teams then: Henderson in goal for Sheffield United, Craney, Stearman and O'Connell the back three. Stearman winning it back from Murphy there and playing it inside. Baldock on the right wing back position, Enda, Stevens on the left, Oliver Norwood and John Fleck in midfield. Mark Duffy a little bit further forward behind Gary Medine and David McGoldrick up front for Sheffield United. We'll go through the Forest team in a moment, but they're attacking down the right hand side with Lolly at the moment, stepping into the penalty area. Deep cross towards the 6-yard box. Henderson comes to claim and claims well, with Murphy steaming into the 6-yard box, awaiting that ball in and almost getting ahead to it. 0-0. As for the Forest team then, Pantilimon in goal, a back four of Colback, Ben Arwan, Wagu and Byron from left to right. Wagu just getting his head to that clearance. Pele, Jacob and Yates in midfield. It's Cash on the left, Lolly on the right, and Daryl Murphy, the lone striker for Martin O'Neill's men. No changes for either side at half-time as Duffy tries to win it inside the Forest half. Norwood challenging with Pele, and it's Colback now. Captain's armband on, the on-loan man from Newcastle United. And finds its way to the right-hand side with Byron. Now Lolly picks it up just inside the Blades half, goes backwards towards Yates. Now Jacob picks it up just near the centre circle. It's the gold-shirted Nottingham Forest players trying to advance a little bit further forward, but Pele's been dispossessed and there could be a break on for the Blades here. McGoldrick streaming towards the penalty area, round his man, brought down by Ben Arwan. Big decision for the referee to make there. Is that a denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity? It is. Johan Ben Arwan gets a red card. Forest down to 10 men. Huge moment in this game. Keith Edwards.
Yeah, well done McGoldrick there. He's been very quick to run at the defender, put him under pressure. He's got him backpedaling. Was he last man? That was debatable, but he's gone. That's going to make it a lot easier for Sheffield United. It's also a free kick in a very good position. A nice early goal might just settle us down, but feel for the Forest player a little bit. He had no other option other than, if he wasn't going to win the ball, he had to bring him down. It would have been clean through on goal. I think that's how the referee's seen a sending off. But I think one or two players got back. I'd like to see that again. So it all happened so quickly. But look,
he's wagging his finger at the fourth official, Ben Arwan. He clearly believes he wasn't the last man, but that's not necessarily the rule. Is that a clear goal-scoring opportunity that the challenge denied? Which I guess, in the referee's view, is yes.
Yeah,
has to be.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's hypothetical, isn't it? Because we don't know how he would have scored. We've seen him miss loads of chances like that. More importantly, we've got a free kick just outside the D. This is in a goal-scoring position. I think keep this simple. Try and lift it over the wall to the keeper's right, and the likes of Norwood could do that.
Free kick, just over 20 yards out. Then central position, just to the left. Norwood and Fleck over it. Comes to Fleck from Duffy, deflected towards goal, but then comfortably stopped at his near post there by Pantilimon. So we'll see how Forest shake this up, but Fleck with the strike on target there. 0-0 it remains.
Yeah, I didn't particularly like that free kick. I thought reflect was slightly off balance when he's hit it. He hasn't hit it great. It's comfortable save for the goalkeeper. But look, this is now. I think now Forest will. They basically retreated in the first half in many respects, with the exception of the odd break. I think the referee's done very well there, because I think McGoldrick just looked for that and ran into the Forest player.
Well, it's a free kick that Sheffield United wanted to take quickly, but they're going to have to wait because Milosevic is going to come on here for Nottingham Forest, and who's going to be sacrificed for Martin O'Neill's men? Milosevic has come on. He's going to have to be told to wait though, because Forest would have 11 men while he's on the pitch. Up goes the board now, and it's Pele who's going to come off. So we'll see how that shakes things up, but Milosevic, centre half, is coming on. Pele will come off. So maybe a 4-4-1 from Nottingham Forest. We'll see how that shakes up, but Milosevic coming in at centre half there.
Well, it's a creative midfield player gone off for another defender, I would have thought, and that's what Forest will do now. Now they will back off. Now it's just a case of we don't have to worry too much about defensively. We can push people forward. It's just about, can we score a goal?
United at the back with Norwood, works it out to the right hand side. Baldock with a bit of space to run into, checks inside, goes towards Craney. Now Norwood with a cross in towards Medine, rising, couldn't quite get there, falls to Duffy, takes a touch, strikes, finds the top corner. Mark Duffy, brilliant finish for Sheffield United. Took the touch, composed himself, and then curled it past Pantilimon to give Sheffield United the lead, and the perfect start to this second half. Sheffield United 1, Nottingham Forest 0.
Well, not too many people on the pitch can do that. I would say Norwood can. He's capable. Duffy, he loves that little curler from the left-hand side with his right foot, and that's a great goal. Perfect goal for the Cop. Good to get a goal straight away after the man being sent off. Should settle us down. Keep going forward, I would say, because I think the Forest will just want to try and hit on the break. That's all. And you know, can we go on and put it out of sight? I'd love to think so.
Well, here's the perfect test of whether the lesson of last week has been learned, I guess.
Yeah.
Will they be safe or will they go for it?
Well, yeah, for me, 10 men, you've got to go. I mean, they'll struggle to get out of that crowd's deafening, isn't it? Oh well, it's great. I've heard good noise here before, but it seems to be on fire today. So yeah, look, it's a good opportunity to keep going forward. You don't want to sit back. You just want to keep into the rhythm of the game and keep playing. I'm sure we'll do that.
Well, Forest have picked it up inside the United half with Cash as they try and respond here. 51 minutes gone. The Blades leading by a goal to nil thanks to a special goal from Mark Duffy. 6th goal of the season for him. And the Blades, as things stand, back in second place in the Championship, putting the pressure back on Leeds United. Long way to go. Forest have got themselves a free kick. Bristol City 1, Reading 1. Brownhill with the goal in response from the home side there. As Cash stands over this free kick, 40 yards out, inside left. It will be a dinked ball in, you would think, from Cash, right-footed towards the penalty spot, headed away by Sheffield United. Norwood challenging for it on the edge of the area. It's picked up by Malawagu, goes down after he claims a push, and it's a free kick that's been given there against Stevens. So it will be a Forest free kick. This one will be curled in from the right. Just a bit of concentration needed here for the Blades. Free kick for Forest then, which will be an in-swinger again, attacking the penalty spot. In it comes now towards the 6-yard box, headed away but not completely. Murphy picks it up inside the box, works it out to that right-hand side, and Forest will go again. In comes the challenge from McGoldrick. The Forest player, Lolly, there has got past 2 men, but he just overruns it away and out for a goal kick. 52 minutes gone, Blades 1, Forest 0. And the atmosphere inside here, Keith Edwards, is extraordinary.
Yeah, it is. It's good atmosphere. Fans are doing their job, and just going back to Forest there, the one lad, Lolly, is the one lad who can really put us under a little bit of pressure. Okay, they're down to 10 men. That's always going to make it difficult.
Duffy picks it up. Nice flick from Medine. Duffy into the box. No ball in. McGoldrick. Brilliant save, Pantilimon. He was almost going the wrong way. Had to readjust himself. Got a palm to it to get it around the post from McGoldrick from 6 yards out. That was almost 2. It's a Blades corner. 53 minutes gone.
Yeah, well, McGoldrick got something on the end of it. He was always off balance, but he's still done well to get it on the target. But it was Duffy that created the chance, really.
It's taken quickly, short corner, goes all the way to the other side of the box, and O'Connell flicks it in. Medine rising for it, knocked back down, 6 yards out, cleared away by Murphy. Norwood picks it up. Sheffield United's captain sends it out to Baldock. Now Duffy right hand side. McGoldrick again, is Norwood again on the ball. This is Fleck. Central position, works it out to O'Connell. O'Connell left footed, tries to get towards the back post. Baldock heads down. McGoldrick in the box. He can't quite get it under control. Colback goes down under a challenge in the penalty area, gets back up, goes down again under the presence there of Baldock, and eventually the free kick is given. Thanks to the assistant referee on this near side, it'll be a Forest free kick and they can clear their lines.
I think Baldock got a little bit too carried away there. You don't want to foul that lad. He's got his back to goal. He's near his 6-yard box. What he wants you to do is foul him, and that's exactly what he did. So that got him off the hook. But yeah, good play. You know, people getting forward. When we talked about are we just going to sit back? Well, there's Baldock in the box, in the 6-yard box. Credit to him.
Yeah, they've not taken a step back here, Sheffield United.
I can't imagine Chrissy Wilder team taking a step back. He always wants them to keep going forward, no matter what the score is.
Well, just listen to the noise inside Bramall Lane at the moment. The Blades fans, we were told some of them don't believe in automatic promotion. I wonder how many do now. Medine inside the box, almost took it down from the sky there. Cleared away by the substitute Milosevic for a Blades throw, taken quickly by Duffy. McGoldrick sends it back to Duffy, right hand side, weaves his way into the box. Now edge of it is McGoldrick, looking for an opportunity for the cross, but he's found it towards Craney, but he couldn't get the direction he wanted, and Craney with the opportunity there, had the ball been found at his feet. And instead it's going to be a Sheffield United throw in as Forest clear their lines through Colback. Baldock now, quick throw, McGoldrick tries to flick it inside. There's a handball claim, it's gone straight into the chest of Molowago, who's never going to be given, but Fleck with a sliding challenge prevents Forest from going on the counter, and he might set up a chance here. Low ball into the box, Milosevic gets it away, Blades throw, the cock roars its approval. Sheffield United lead this one by a goal to nil, 10 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, it's been a great 10 minutes, hasn't it? We've scored the goal that we were desperate for. It's not a desperate performance, we've dominated the game possession wise. Can we just put it out of sight?
Well, can they use that man advantage to great effect now in the remainder of this second half, Sheffield United? They have the goal thanks to Mark Duffy, and they have, as things stand, that place back in the automatic promotion. But he's a slip from Henderson though, under a little bit of pressure from Cash. Eventually he got to his feet and cleared, but goodness me,
the Nottingham Forest,
a few hearts skipped a beat inside Bramall Lane there.
Yep, the Nottingham Forest player nearly cashed in.
Certainly did. Cha-ching. Is McGoldrick trying to get a challenge in for Sheffield United. It finds its way towards Norwood. McGoldrick onto Duffy. Over halfway they come now. 2-on-2. In fact, 3-on-2 for Sheffield United. McGoldrick inside the box now. And has to get his back to goal though to get away from Milosevic. So it goes back to Stevens. Sheffield United in the second wave of attack comes now through Fleck and Norwood. Worked out to the right and Craney. Now Baldock near the touchline. Baldock comes inside towards the corner of the box. Goes to the cross coming in towards McGoldrick. Medine knocks it back, just can't get it towards another red and white shirt. Norwood's cross in towards McGoldrick was a nice one. McGoldrick headed it down, and Medine then couldn't find a teammate. Norwood has it again though. Norwood out towards Duffy, who picks it up right hand side, heads towards the box now. Duffy tries to get the cross in, blocked by Colback, but only as far as Norwood. So Duffy corner of the box on the right again, towards Craney now. First time back towards the run of Baldock. This is Norwood again. Nice triangles from Sheffield United. The fans want a cross. It comes from the feet of Duffy towards the back post, but too far ahead of Medine and out for a goal kick. 1-0 the Blades lead, 57 minutes gone.
Yeah, well, it's a good performance. It was a satisfactory performance first half. Now it's turning into a good performance, but just on that level there, we had so many opportunities to put the ball into the box, and we refused that opportunity. And then when Duffy's got a free ball, basically could put it anywhere he likes, he puts it straight out. That's disappointing, because we're looking to try and kill this game off. Another goal, that would be Forest out of it.
Second change for Nottingham Forest then. Lewis Graben, the former Rotherham man. Forest is 12th club now. 17 goals for the season, but didn't start after missing a hatful of chances last week against Blackburn. Well, he's got his opportunity from Martin O'Neill now, who may be looking for just a little bit more energy up front, as he's got an awful lot of work and ground to cover, Lewis Graben, in the remainder of the second half, with the Forest side down to 10 men.
Well, he's a natural goal scorer. He can get in. He gets a few. I mean, the goal was fairly lucky. He got at Forest ground, beat us 1-0. But I can understand why he's put him on. But it's what can Forest do? Whether they can be brave enough to put a player up front with him. If they do, well, we might take advantage of it, or they might get back into it.
Sheffield United have it in their own half with Norwood. Lofty ball towards Medine, but it's headed away by Milosevic. Wagu with a bit of space just goes back towards his goalkeeper in the sunshine, Pantilimon. And now Wagu in the shade in front of the Tony Curry stand. Clearance is only towards Norwood, and Sheffield United can put the pressure on again as Forest can't keep the ball for long. Duffy towards the corner of the box, fed inside towards Bollock. The offside flag's gone up against the Blades man. He just slid in and slid into the advertising behind the goal there. And Tillerman will take this quickly. As we head towards the hour, the Blades in a very good position here. A goal up, a man up. And at the moment, the traffic is mostly one way towards the Kop end. Here's Craney, just gets it low from Henderson and then finds Norwood, who carries the ball towards halfway, gets it back from Baldock. A little bit of pressure from Graben, who's trying to make an impact early in this spell after coming on a couple of minutes ago. O'Connell at the back for Sheffield United. McGoldrick coming deep to get involved in the action, but it's ignored that run. And it's spread from left to right nicely from O'Connell to Baldock. Now Duffy under pressure from Colback, who just nicks the ball away from Duffy's feet, out for a throw-in level with the edge of the Forest penalty area on the right. This is Norwood now. Craney now finds Baldock, and it's still working this right-hand side. Duffy into Baldock again. Great chance here. Baldock, can he find the cross? He took too long, and he was closed down by Jakob in the end before he could get it across the face of goal. It will be a Sheffield United corner for Keith Edwards.
Yeah.
Why did he wait so long?
Yeah, well, exactly, because the longer he waited, it all got closed down. If he'd have just smashed it across after his first touch, that would have been more beneficial to United. Or if he actually looked to score, just hit it on target, keepers come out, could have got in. But yeah, he needed to react quicker.
Corner Sheffield United, yes. It's Fleck with it. Towards the edge of the box, finds Norwood, and he's going to strike from range here. Norwood just a couple of yards wide of Pantilimon's right hand post in front of the Kop there. Well, that's a training ground routine. He was in acres there, Norwood.
That's right, yeah. Every time everybody's gone in looking for that 6-yard box, and shame he didn't hit the target. That's my only problem is when they do that. It's a little bit more emphasis on bringing a save out the goalkeeper. His first touch was excellent. Hasn't scored enough goals recently as Norwood.
Yeah, 3 for the season. Plenty of assists in that total through the year, but he's a player who is speaking about the fact that he's been promoted to the Premier League twice and never actually played a game in the competition. Well, another opportunity to get another side up, and you would imagine he would be a pivotal player in a Blades Premier League side the way it's gone for him this season. There's a long way to go yet. 61 minutes on the clock with the Blades a goal to the good. Johan Benawan sent off for Forest, who are now deep in a 4-4-1 and looking to counter when they can. Here's Yates in midfield for Forest at the moment, who's trying to work it out to the right hand side. Byram now. Byram with space for a cross, a low one, easily cleared away by Norwood for Sheffield United. Jakob heads it back towards Byram on the right, and then he receives it from Lolly over the top. He can't get the ball under control though, and O'Connell will just see this out for a Blades throw-in. At this point, if you're Chris Wilder, are you thinking of changes, or are you happy with the way this is at the moment? Keith Edwards, how do you consider this now?
Well, I think with the pressure that we've put on Forest, I think he'll be fairly happy at this moment in time. I think, yes, he would love another goal. He would. I think once it's got to the point where we need to turn the Forest defenders, then he might look at a little bit more pace up front.
Well, Duffy's effort into the top corner, the difference between the two sides. 63 minutes gone here on Football Heaven as Fleck spreads the play from left to right. Bollock in acres of space on this right wing at the moment, and still Forest don't close him down. Approaching the box now, Baldock. He's got options in there, and he's got Craney to his right hand side. Craney first time ball towards the penalty spot, cleared away by Yates. Again, Norwood is the player who brings it back under control for Sheffield United and works it back to halfway, where he finds O'Connell. Stearman. Very, very steady game from Richard Stearman at centre half. back in the side. Now it's worked through the right hand side. Duffy there with the cross. Pantilimon wasn't sure of the angles there, had to palm it over the top of the crossbar, and it will be a Sheffield United corner. 1-0 it remains.
Well, that was a cross, but it was more like a shot, wasn't it? We were in the perfect spot for that. It was going in the top corner. Keeper's done well, but as a cross you would have to say it's a poor cross. As a shot I would say it was great. I don't think he meant a shot.
Half-time score in the Championship, Millwall 1, Brentford 1, but Brentford down to 10 men. Forest down to 10 men here. The Blades are goal to the good. Norwood's corner now towards the back post. Just can't quite find O'Connell. He's run out the edge of the penalty area to get the ball on the right. This is Duffy now. Duffy corner of the box, goes square to Fleck. Fleck edge of the D, thinks about the shot and then goes to Norwood square. Gets it back from Norwood. Duffy's being forced away from goal at the moment. Duffy now picks it up, goes towards the penalty area, then works it out to O'Connell. He's got the... takes a touch rather than first time into the box, and so Sheffield United will have to work another crossing opportunity. Duffy tries it into the box now, deflected behind. Sheffield United corner, but that had to be first time from O'Connell.
Yeah, well, O'Connell shouldn't be in that position, if I'm being perfectly honest. Duffy has set himself up for the cross on the right side, and then he's pushing it out to a left-sided centre half. Why would he want the left-sided centre half to cross the ball for him? Surely Duffy's job is to cross the ball, make a good delivery. He's already just not one in the net.
Corner taken short quickly towards Duffy. Now Norwood, edge of the box, has a try well over the top from 25 yards from Oliver Norwood, who looks to the skies. And will be disappointed with that effort.
Well, I'm very reluctant to be critical, but that's poor. That's poor, not to hit the target from there.
Well, Gary Madine's going to be the first change here then for Sheffield United. He's being applauded on all four sides of the ground. Scott Hogan's going to make his way on to make his 6th appearance of his loan spell here at Sheffield United. And he adds the one goal he's got so far. With 25 minutes to go of this contest here on Football Heaven, the first of 5 live games for you. Reminder, we've got Swansea against Rotherham, FM and Freeview from 3 o'clock, and on Barnsley, Shrewsbury, AM and DAB at 3. We'll keep you in touch with Chesterfield at Gateshead as well, and then 2 more live games after that. Doncaster at Sunderland 5:15, and Sheffield Wednesday at Norwich 7:45. Here though, the Blades doing what they need to do. They're in front, they're a man up. Mark Duffy's goal, a fine one when you catch the highlights later. At the moment though, Nottingham Forest trying to work down this right hand side, and it's going to be another long throw from Cash. They've not managed to work too much from these long throws so far. Sheffield United have dealt with them well, but they remain a weapon. 66 minutes gone, and it comes now towards the penalty area. Again, O'Connell was in a queue of Sheffield United players to get it away, and then a long range effort comes in from Lolly on the volley, well wide, not troubling Henderson. 1-0 it remains.
Yeah, pretty comfortable, but it's always that little worry, isn't it, at 1-0. I think Forest haven't ventured too far forward. They're just trying to get something possibly in the last 10 minutes or so, maybe take a chance then, but I think overall we could have had this game out of sight if the delivery was better, but performance wise, take into account there's maybe 1 or 2 nerves out there, but I'm pleased to see the likes of Hogan on. We want a bit more pace up there. Can we get somebody on the last man? Can we get a ball in, a telling ball? We've already had a fabulous goal, should encourage us to do it again.
Fleck works it out to the left where Stevens is in possession for Sheffield United. Now Fleck again. Fleck left wing, works it down the line. O'Connell goes inside now. Sheffield United work it through Norwood towards Craney, 30 yards out to the right wing, and Baldock with Cole back up against him. Baldock trying to work an angle, gets around his man, gets the cross in towards the back stick. It's a decent effort, but just a little bit over hit. Fleck though covering on the left hand side and recycles possession. Now Duffy, 25 yards from goal, central position, goes square to Norwood. Norwood thinking about the cross, but he's got Baldock to his right, which is where he goes. Baldock now inside to Duffy. They're trying to work the angles again. Duffy tried to clip it but couldn't beat the head of Cole back there. Duffy though is doing it back brilliantly from Cash. Now the cross comes in towards the back post. It's McGoldrick who brings it down just inside the penalty area, a little bit over hit. McGoldrick goes back to the edge of the area, and Fleck, still Sheffield United putting on all the pressure here. McGoldrick McGoldrick tries to bend one into the top corner. Over the top, Pantilimon had it covered. Sheffield United still lead by a goal to nil. 68 minutes gone, it's a Forest goal kick.
Well, comfortable. Football's good. I don't think we're making quite the right decisions when we get into that box, but at least McGoldrick took the responsibility of having a shot. Didn't bring a save out the goalkeeper, but we keep getting into good positions, and basically Forest are just knowing that they've got tin hats on. They're just having to defend all the time. But like I've said, that 1-0 is always a slight worry, but wish we could just get another quality goal and finish it off.
Grabban's debating with Roy Keane, the Forest assistant, just in front of us about what he should be doing. He's barely had a touch since he came on. Forest down to 10 men and defending deep here as Baldock has it right hand side for Sheffield United. McGoldrick a couple of yards in front of him, Duffy a few yards back, that's where it goes. Now square to Norwood. Norwood a good 30 yards from goal, looking at his options. Goes forward to Baldock, first time inside towards McGoldrick, who gets it away from Wagyu. And it's Fleck now square from Duffy. They've worked it out to the left now, Sheffield United, but they're midway inside the Forest half, edging away from the penalty area at the moment. But now Duffy will try and work it to the right, and Craney with a chance for a cross. Low, it's hit Colback, the first man, away by Forest, but not far. Now Norwood with support coming from Baldock. Now it's Duffy, gets it from Craney, but he can't work an angle for himself on the edge of the penalty area, and Forest will get this away through Lolly. Lolly with a bit of space to run into. Fleck covering at the moment. Across comes Stevens. He's worked it inside towards Grabban there, Lolly. And Grabban had nowhere really to turn, but back towards his own goal. So Nottingham Forest. And I think some of the olays coming from the Forest fans as Nottingham Forest get a foot on the ball for a moment. Now have it at the back. Looking for options is Byron, but had to go back to Milosevic. The presses and the pressure there from Sheffield United has worked a treat. They've gone all the way back to Pantilimon, who's just hoofed it down the field. This is Norwood picking up, trying to work it down the inside right towards Hogan. Wagyu was just too strong on that occasion and gets it back to his goalkeeper Pantilimon. But again, Hogan leading the press. And Jakob now picks it up in the centre of the park for Nottingham Forest. Into the centre circle he comes. Goes to his right where he's got support from Yates and Byram. Lolly's over there too. This is Grabban. Gets it back again, this time from Yates, and Grabban works it out to the right hand side. Lolly trying to work it forward, but again Sheffield United have got plenty of bodies around the ball, and it's not long before they've won it back. Stearman on the edge of his own box goes back towards Henderson. Henderson under a bit of pressure there from Grabban, but makes the clearance eventually. Wagyu gets his head to that one for Forest, and they've cleared it into midfield. You can hear the home crowd urging Sheffield United on. They have the goal a second, would make things far more comfortable here for the Blades. Still with that one-man advantage after Johan Benawan's red card in the 50th minute. Duffy's goal in the 51st is Stevens on the left now for Sheffield United. In comes the cross towards Hogan, but away this time by Milosevic, and out for a throw-in midway inside the Forest half. 28,403 inside Bramall Lane. At the moment, they're watching the Blades go second in the Championship, with Leeds still to play Wigan at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Here's Fleck for the Blades. And they're just happy to keep the ball at the back at the moment. Some simple passes, trying to move Nottingham Forest around in this April sunshine. In fairness, it's not a bad ploy. As Forest deep at the moment, but they've won it back. This is Yates now trying to send one over the top for Grabban to chase. He's got a little bit of space on his left-hand side. Stearman coming across to meet him. Grabban goes back to Colback, the Forest captain. Inside left, goes from left to right towards Byram. Byram inside towards Grabban, inside the penalty area, tried to force one down the channel, but O'Connell was well in the way, and Sheffield United clear their lines. Which makes it the pattern of the game at the moment.
Yeah, look, Sheffield United have played well second half. We've got the goal, that all-important goal. Yes, we would feel a little bit more comfortable if the fact that they're dominating the game, but while ever at 1-0 is always a slight worry. But we are controlling the game. We're keeping the ball well. I think we may be being a little bit hesitant to put that ball into the box on occasions to make sure it's absolutely right. Is ineffective as we try to walk into the back of net. But you know what? They've worked really hard. They're closing Forest down, and Forest are just coming forward every 10-15 minutes, and that hasn't been a great deal of threat. But as I say, it's just if they just get a lucky break, then that's back into the game, and that's going to be a disappointing, because Sheffield United have played well here. We've controlled the game.
Forest are readying a third change, 17 minutes to go. The Blades a goal to the good. Apaya's about to come on, but not before this Forest free kick, which is hoisted into the box. Good punch by Henderson. Flag goes up. It must have been an offside in the penalty area anyway. And so it remains 1-0 to the Blades, and it looks like that change is going to happen now for Nottingham Forest. So we'll see who's going to be sacrificed for the 18-year-old Arvin Apaya, who's breaking into the side this season. They clearly rate him, Apaya. Claudio Jacobs coming off, so it's an attacking change from Martin O'Neill here. Yeah, Apaya signed a 4.5-year deal in January, so they must see something in him, the 18-year-old who's making his way onto the pitch now for the former West Brom man. And at the moment he's taking a position on the left, so we'll see how this shapes up for Nottingham Forest at the moment. I think they're going to stay in a similar sort of formation. Wally on the right, Apaya on the left, and Graben up top for Forest. 15 minutes to go here then. Henderson makes the clearance from the free kick. McGoldrick flicks on towards Hogan, but it was just the wrong side of him and straight into the arms of Pantilimon. Full-time score in the Championship: Bristol City 1, Reading 1. So Sheffield Wednesday can close the gap on the playoffs if they can get something at Norwich tonight. That's at 7:45 on Football Heaven on BBC Radio Sheffield. Part of 10 hours of football here this Good Friday. At the moment, it's going well for the Blades in our first game. Colback tries to clear down the line. Duffy in the way. McGoldrick coming to help him out now. Forest player goes down in the shape of Cash, but McGoldrick's done brilliantly to get it away from him. Now towards Duffy. Baldock and Duffy linking up on this right-hand side yet again. Norwood in support. Goes square now towards Craney. Craney works it inside the box towards Baldock. The cross is deflected. Hogan was the target, but it's safely into the clutches of Pantilimon, who bowls it out underarm towards the right-back Byron. Keith Edwards.
Yeah, well, once again, a good opportunity, got men over. I think in the last 5 or 10 minutes, possession-wise, yeah, great. I'm not overly worried, but it's just that final ball, and once you've got a man over, you should be able to get that extra man in the box, and we haven't really used that well enough.
Graben just linking up the play for Nottingham Forest as they try and work it out to the right-hand side. Wally's involved, and Graben's come out of the penalty area again. This is Byram now. Graben, corner of the penalty area, trying to work an angle for a shot, gets a shot in, but it's blocked by Stearman. Now it works it out to the left, and Colback, low ball into the box, cleared away by Craney. Only as far as Baldock, who goes down. No free kick given yet. In fact, it will be a free kick now against Baldock, after he committed a foul, believing he was fouled himself a few moments earlier. And the yellow card's going to come out for George Baldock as well. And this is a dangerous looking free kick for Forest. 2 yards out of the penalty area, left-hand side. Decent angle for a cross. Very decent moment for Forest under the pressure of having 10 men to work something from a set piece. 13 minutes to go here. The Blades 1-0 up. Wagu's come forward. Apaya there, the substitute, is taking a position just outside the 6-yard box. Taken short, struck with some venom, but with absolutely no direction at all from Cash. And in fact, it's gone out for a throw-in 10 yards from the corner flag, which tells you all you need to know.
Well, what we needed at that moment in time, that was in a dangerous position. So we look at that, and thankfully they haven't got anything on target. Looks as if we're going to make another substitution.
Yeah, another change for the Blades here. Martin Craney's coming off. John Lundstrom's going to come on. I wonder whether that's going to mean a bit of a change of shape. We'll see how this develops. Just making a few instructions and see what this means now. Lundstrom is taking up a position.
Be more central midfielder who closes people down very well.
I'm just wondering if this is a back four now that Sheffield United are going to operate under. We'll see how this develops, because it's a throw-in level with the edge of the Sheffield United penalty area on the left, which is going to be taken by Stevens, flicked on by McGoldrick towards Hogan to try and chase down Milosevic, who just about gets it back to Pantilimon. Sprinting away though is Hogan, closing down the goalkeeper, wasn't far away from the clearance either. He's putting a shift in already, is Scott Hogan, having come on in this second half. 12 minutes to go. The Blades still have that slender advantage, thanks to Mark Duffy's effort into the top corner on 51 minutes. McGoldrick's given away a foul though just inside the Forest half, and Yates tries to get things going quickly. Fortunately for him, he struck a moving ball because he slipped as he hit it, and it would have been cut out by Sheffield United. Forest will have another go.
Yeah, well, it's we've just got to keep our concentration level really high. Make sure you get everything out, push them wide, make sure the ball doesn't come into the box, and give them as little room in the box as possible. They're going to start launching it forward and just taking a few chances, and we have to be aware of that.
Looks like a 4-2-3-1 at the moment for Sheffield United, with Lundstrom and McGoldrick, and Norwood holding, and a three behind Hogan of Duffy and Fleck and McGoldrick. We'll see how that pans out, but it's Colback who's picked it up for Nottingham Forest. The left back actually working his way towards the right at the moment, and then a nice flick over the top for Byram to chase. Fleck has got round the other side to cover on this left hand side for Sheffield United. Grabban coming deep again to get involved in the play for Forest. The gold shirts perhaps starting to sense that they can get at this Sheffield United defence. Still 10 minutes for Sheffield United to see out this 3 points. In comes the cross into the penalty area, hooked away, and I think Lundstrom might have caught his man Stearman there, just inside the penalty area. Stearman's got back to his feet. The clearance from Lundstrom's gone out for a throw on the far side. Well, the Sheffield United fans trying to spur their men on. There just seemed to be some similarity between this week and last. The Blades in front, but not yet with the 3 points in the bag. Long throw in coming then for Nottingham Forest. It's Cash working it from the right hand side. Henderson comes and claims in his own 6-yard box and thinks about launching one for a quick counter, but he's just going to calm things down for Sheffield United. Urges his defenders out of the box and maybe eats a little bit of time off the clock, Pete Evans.
Yeah, we're not chasing the game. He's looked at it and looked at the options up front. There was only Hogan there and he's not fancied it. Now that's up to him how he sees the game, and that runs down a couple more minutes. That's a couple more minutes towards victory.
Lundstrom up against Appiah, who's turned his back to goal, then gets a push in the back from Lundstrom. Free kick Forest.
I don't see why they want to challenge for the ball when the guy goes back to he's heading back to his own goal. Don't give a free kick away then. Sheffield United are doing what they have to do, apart from needless free kicks like that.
Well, it's Colback with this free kick then, as chips it forward towards the penalty area. Stearman challenging, and it's Yates and Stearman who went up for it, but it's come off the Sheffield United defender's head, so it's out for a throw in on this near side. A Forest flow which Cash has come across, and again he's going to dry the ball on his shirt and send one in towards the penalty area, but not before Richard Stearman's just had a discussion with the referee. He's just working his right foot there. It's a little bit uncomfortable on it. Sheffield United do have a change they can make, but Dowell is ready to come on, but I think they're going to wait for a moment just to make sure Richard Stearman's okay. Cash readying the long throw from the left. 8 minutes to go. The Blades a goal up. Flick towards the back post. It's bounced in the area to almost towards Grabban before Stevens gets it away for Sheffield United. Forest though head it back towards the left wing. This is Cash, who took the throw in and is now working towards a central position. Goes back towards Colback on halfway. Appiah left wing now. Cuts inside. Gets away from one man. Goes down to the challenge of that man Baldock. And it will be another Forest free kick. Inside left, 40 yards from goal.
Yeah, I can't have any complaints about that. Looked all over a free kick. He's cut inside. Looks quite dangerous, threatening here. They can just launch something in the box. You would think they would, but whenever they want to mess around with it, that's wasting their own time. But I think they'll just push this in. So the back two have got to be strong.
In comes the free kick, headed away easily from Lolly's free kick, but he's got it back. The Cop urging the Blades out, but they've got defending to do here. Lolly's ball near post, cleared away eventually by Norwood. Now Hogan trying to get to it before Colback does. He's done well to get pressure on it and win it back for the Blades here. Now Stevens lost it over the top. Fleck looking for McGoldrick, but it's just behind his run. And the Blades counter there. They can't quite find the right ball. But they're being urged on by the home fans. 7 minutes to go. The Blades still 1-0 up here on Football Heaven, heading towards the top two at the moment as things stand. But they need to see this one out. Perhaps they can get a second against the 10 men. Duffy out to that left-hand side, and Lundstrom. Now McGoldrick, centre of the park, tried to thread it through to Duffy, couldn't do so. Forest get it away. No free kick given after Norwood slid in on a pyre, but the referee says play on. This is Cash taking it towards halfway. And the ominous similarities to last week.
Stop mentioning last week.
Well, it's difficult not to feel like that at the moment.
Right. Yeah,
and I think there's not a single Blades fan in Bramall Lane who will not be thinking this is very, very similar.
I know we don't. We've dominated the game. We're in control. It's just, can we finish it off? We've got a chance here, man.
McGoldrick carries it over halfway. Milosevic doesn't want to go near him. McGoldrick towards the penalty area. Now feeds it to Stevens. Low drive into the net. Game, set, match. Sheffield United. Enda Stevens finds his second goal of the season, and what an important time to score it. Just as Nottingham Forest were starting to find some belief they could get a late equaliser, Sheffield United slammed the door emphatically. Enda Stevens with the goal, found by McGoldrick, who's had a brilliant game himself. It's the Blades 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
Well, that's answered one or two questions, hasn't it? Would we sit back if we went 1-0 up? Well, there you are. The left back's got into the box, not too far off the 6-yard box, and drilled it into the bottom corner. So we do push people forward. I think the delivery could sometimes come a little bit quicker, but that's job done. We've put it out of sight. Forest haven't really looked a threat, but at this time of the season, at 1-0, I suppose really deep down, if we were a bit more confident, we wouldn't have been overly worried. But as you rightly pointed out, it had a little thought of last week, but we've put it to bed now. Very, very good performance.
And that means that Chris Wilder can make his third and final change as well. Duffy will come off with 4 minutes to go. Kieran Dow is about to come on. But Duffy gets a standing ovation from all four sides here at Bramall Lane.
Crowd have been great. You know, they've really. It was the same when Medine went off. Duffy's a very popular player. Yeah, but everybody on that pitch gets a great reception, and that's great from the fans.
Well, that belief is surging again inside Bramall Lane. The Blades, as things stand, back into second place. Leeds, of course, taking on Wigan at Ellen Road at 3. We'll keep you across that on Football Heaven as sliding challenge comes in from Baldock on umpire, so just to make sure that Forest don't make any progress down the left.
Always that bit harder, isn't it, to play the second game? I'd always rather play the first game.
Well, this is going to be the thing, isn't it? Because Sheffield United play before Leeds every game now between now and the end of the season, apart from, of course, the final day.
Well,
they can set the agenda, Keane.
It might be sorted by the end of the final game. You never know, but yeah, it's always nice to play early and get that win in if it goes that way. Puts a little bit of pressure on Leeds. You would expect them to win today. It's a comfortable game, but it just makes it that little bit harder, and it'll be a bit more tense. And who can predict in the Championship? Very, very difficult.
Well, I didn't see Wigan getting a point against Norwich last week, but they did that.
That's a good point.
The Blades have it at the moment. Here's Dow, first touch into the box, looking like it might fall there. There's a handball shout in the penalty area, but Baldock's just taken it out of the penalty area towards Lundstrom. Lundstrom picks it up on the right, and the Blades happy just to be calm in possession here and work an angle. Stevens now works it out to the left where Dow picks it up. Edge of the penalty area, crossing towards the back post, but it's ahead of McGoldrick there and ahead of Hogan as well. Goes out for a goal kick. There are 2 minutes and change to go here on Football Heaven, and it's 2-0 to the Blades.
Well, job done. I think if you're a Forest fan trying to keep your season alive, I think you'd be awfully disappointed with your team's performance, but as most teams come here, they don't work as hard as Sheffield United, and we've earned that right to win the game.
I mean, there's no doubt the sending off has made a huge difference to the game, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, but it didn't make too much of a difference to the first half. We had all the ball there. We just, it just makes a difference when you see the ball hit the net a couple of times, doesn't it? But you're right to point that out, Mike. It's a huge sending off.
Johan Ben Owen given his marching orders in the 47th minute. 3 minutes later, Mark Duffy curls in for 1-0. A beautiful finish with his right foot. You're going to want to see that later. And then Enda Stevens sealing the deal 5 minutes from time, thanks to a nice ball through from McGoldrick, as Forest just backed away from David McGoldrick. Milosevic didn't want anything to do with him as he ran forward. He saw what happened to Ben Owen when McGoldrick took him on earlier. Here's McGoldrick now, gets it off the toes of Norwood and then drives forward himself. He's deserved a goal today, McGoldrick. He's worked it out to the right hand side though to Baldock. Again, the body's in the box. Norwood, corner of the penalty area, looking for a square ball. Stevens, score of that second, works it out to the left hand side where Dow picks it up. Dow attacking the right back Burham, and then it's off Stevens and off a Forest body for another Sheffield United corner into the final minute of normal time. 2-0 to the Blades. Can they find a third, Keith Edwards?
Yeah, it'd be nice to finish it off. It'd be good for the confidence, but the points are ours, and I started with it's a must-win game, and we're winning this game, and we've worked really hard to earn that right. Forest have been a bit sulky second half. They've never really got out. They've not took a gamble, so we've had to do it the hard way. So yeah, good overall, great performance.
Well, this is Stevens picking it up from the short corner. Now Norwood, he's just going to play it back into the centre circle. Richard Stearman, more than able deputy for John Egan, suspended. He'll be back, well, you would think, against Hull, but
yeah, I touched on it at the top of the show. Whoever comes in do a great job, and I think that tells you something about the team spirit in this team, because they come in, they haven't played for 5, 6, possibly 10 or 15 games, but they come in and still do a good performance.
Here's McGoldrick now, just midway inside the Forest half, spread it to the right hand side. 4 minutes of added time then here at Bramall Lane. And Sheffield United 2 goals to the good. Forest a man down, as they have been since the 47th minute, when Johan Ben Owen was given his marching orders for bringing down McGoldrick. Denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity in the opinion of Andrew Madley. And whilst Ben Owen may have had a few complaints, I don't think too many others will. Here's Norwood now. The noise inside Bramall Lane, incredible, from 28,000 Blades fans who are looking at their side, about to head back into second place in the Championship. Lundstrom's going to throw in 15 yards from the corner flag, and Sheffield United just gobbling up the time now. We've had a minute of the added 4 as Baldock works it towards Lundstrom. Lundstrom then back towards Norwood. So, well, and John Egan will come back, but there's no Basham, no Sharp, you would think, for Monday. But I wonder now, the way that it's gone with Medine and Hogan, how that battle maybe shapes up as replacing Sharp on Monday as well, Keith.
Well, sometimes you question some of the signings that we make and think, well, do we really need that? Hogan come at a time where Billy Sharp was scoring goals week in, week out, but this is the reason why we brought him into a squad, to have a bigger squad, to give yourself as many options as possible for when you get in situations like this.
Well, here's Dowell now back to Norwood. McGoldrick coming deep again to get involved with the play, receives it back from Lundstrom, but then his square ball is cut out. McGoldrick, though, wins it straight back, and there's a foul there against Yates. Well, it's a late decision from the referee, and McGoldrick has had an excellent game.
Yes, he has. He's worked hard, hasn't he? He loves to be involved. He leads the line well.
Well, Pantilimon will take this free kick midway inside the Forest half as we edge towards full time here. 2 more of the added minutes to go, but it's the goals of Duffy and Stevens that are going to see Sheffield United over the line in this one, and heading back into second for now at least. A reminder, Leeds United taking on Wigan at home today, and then they've got to take on Brentford in their next game. Away from home. Brentford are an entirely different proposition at Griffin Park this season than they have been on the road. And of course, Aston Villa to come for Leeds United as well. The Blades Final 3 matches then: Hull on the road on Monday. We've got that live for you on Football Heaven. At home to Ipswich and then away at Stoke.
The good thing about that is you look at our performances throughout the season. Our away performances have been as good, if not better, on occasions than at home, because at home you've got the emphasis to go out and win the game. Away from home we can attack teams and they don't always expect it. So they've been good. So we can be optimistic about having two out of the 3. We've got 2 away.
Hogan trying to put some pressure on Molowagu, who heads away for Forest in the dying embers of this one on Football Heaven. Then 30 seconds to go. Chris Wilder hands in pockets in his technical area. Job done for the Blaze today. And it's over to you, Leeds United, in the race for automatic promotion from the Championship. Norwood then square towards Fleck in the centre circle. We're just going through the motions here at Bramall Lane before this place will erupt as McGoldrick might put the icing on the cake here. Edge of the box, tries to slide one through in the direction of Dowell. It goes out for a Sheffield United corner. Perhaps one more chance. And of course, goal difference is worth talking about as well, but there won't be one. There won't be a chance to get that corner in. Bramall Lane, as expected, does erupt. Sheffield United goalless at half-time, but second-half goals from Duffy. A sweetly struck effort, right-footed, past Pantilimon into the top corner, and then into Stevens' low drive, beating the goalkeeper at his far post after McGoldrick had slotted him through, having carried the ball from pretty much the halfway line himself. That all followed Johan Benawan's red card in the 2nd minute of the second half. After McGoldrick went through on goal, he was brought down and Benawan was given his marching orders, and it ends with Sheffield United 2 goals and 3 points. Keith Edwards, a very happy Good Friday.
Well, I said it was a must win, and it was a good performance. It's performed under a bit of pressure at home against a side where you're expecting really to turn form around. You didn't expect Forest to lose 4 on the bounce, and you think, well, is it today that they turn it around? Realistically, they were never quite in it. Yes, they had a few little breaks first half, but every team has that. Every team has its little moment, but they didn't offer too much. But that's not taking anything away from Sheffield United's performance. It was solid, it was together. McGoldrick, as you rightly pointed out, was good, and Duffy, as a match winner, scores a great goal, and that releases the pressure. And yeah, that's a good performance. I think we can get better, but at this time of the season, it's not about getting better. It's just about grinding results out, and that's what we've done. It was a better performance than grinding a result out, but we've done what we've had to do. McGoldrick, no pressure on him. He's enjoying what's in front of him. People like him they should look at people like him and take a leaf out of his book. He's not feeling the pressure. He's just thoroughly enjoying his football.
Well, the first leg of our Football Heaven marathon begins with a Blades victory. 4 more live games to come, starting in South Wales. Over to you, Leeds United, from a Sheffield United point of view, from a Football Heaven point of view.